Hello, welcome everyone. Today we are doing worksheet. This is 3D trigonometry worksheet. In morning we have done 2D trigonometry. I hope you have gone through it. And this is a 3D trigonometry that we are doing now. I have just put few questions. Obviously, as I have already described you that because it's a crash course, so I'm not going to burden you with so many questions. I have designed the questions such that even the smaller number of question will give you enough idea to do any sort of question in the main exam. Only you need to understand the concept. Let me start with the question number 1. Here we can clearly see this is a cuboid. So length AE is 10 centimeters. On the figure it's given. EF is 4 centimeters and AH is 17 centimeters. AH, that means the diagonal of this one. Find the angle diagonal DF makes with plane BEAF. Always remember, go in a reverse order. Go according to what they're asking in your question. The question asks you the diagonal DF. This is what they're asking. Diagonal DF that makes with the plane BFEA. This one. So, makes with the plane BFEA, that means this plane, that angle is between this one. We have to take this triangle. This triangle, because this angle is definitely it's making with the plane. With the plane, that means you have to pick any line of that plane. Obviously, if they are asking you, if the question is what angle it's making with the plane, so you have to take the diagonal of that plane. If they are asking the angle between DF and the plane, that means DF is the line, first line is DF and the second line is the diagonal of that plane. Clearly the plane of BFEA is FA. So join this. What I did, I joined AF and DF. You can see that where they both are aligning themselves with DA. So I got my triangle. So my focus is triangle DAF. If I want to calculate this angle, I should know any two sides. So I can apply sine, theta, cos. If we look into that, AF is easier to calculate because for the base I have 10 and 4 centimeters. It's a cuboid, that means every face is a rectangular in shape. So BFEA is rectangle. We can calculate the diagonal. So ABEF, taking the rectangle ABEF. How can I calculate the diagonal? Obviously, because we know all the sides of a rectangle is 90 degree. All the angles, so it is a right angle triangle. So AFE is a right angle triangle. How can I calculate diagonal? AF squared is equals to 10 squared plus 4 squared. I have applied Pythagoras theorem. From here, AF squared is equals to 100 plus 16. AF squared is 116 and ultimately AF is root 116. I'm just leaving my answer as of now in a root form. At the very end, we'll solve it all together. Next is, I need one more side now to calculate angle. I think we can calculate DA because the other thing that is mentioned is AH. AH, that means, now let me just delete this one so that you can understand this thing. So AH, that means this one. The rectangle you can clearly see and AH is the diagonal. I can calculate height from it definitely because 17 centimeters. So taking DAEF or just the triangle AHE. So in triangle AHE, always remember, if you work in a reverse order, it will open the path to calculate it properly. What I did, I have started with what was the question and then I myself get to know, okay, I can do it like this, I can do it like this. I just get to know that if I calculate DA, I will be having two sides and it would be much easier for me to calculate angle then. So in triangle AHE, again applying Pythagoras theorem, I can say AH squared is equals to HE squared plus AE squared. AH is 17 squared HE is plus AE is 10 squared. So HE squared is finally 17 squared minus 10 squared. So finally HE is root 189. Coming back to this one, HE or DA, they both are same because they are opposite side and opposite side of rectangle are equal. Coming back to this one, because we want to calculate the angle. So this triangle that we have selected, in this triangle, that means coming back to the triangle DAF, what two sides I have? Now DA I have, which is root 189. Why DA is equals to HE? Because they are opposite sides. So obviously they are equal to each other in a rectangle. Opposite sides are equal. And AF, this one. If I want to calculate this angle, and let me draw it separately for the get better clarity. This is TAF. We have calculated AF as root 116, DA as root 189. So I can calculate hypotenuse now. Hypotenuse is what? We have to calculate the angle directly. So we have opposite, we have adjacent. Why? Because this angle we are calculating, right? So the angle that is connected to this, the side that is connected to this angle is adjacent, and the side opposite to this angle is opposite. So let me apply tan theta. So tan theta is opposite over adjacent. So finally tan theta is equals to it's 1.27. So theta is finally tan inverse 1.27, which will give you answer as 51.78. So finally the angle the diagonal DF makes with the plane BFEA is 51.78. Moving on to the next question. In the above figure, M is the midpoint. If M is the midpoint, suddenly I get to know that this side, this part and this part, they both are equal, because midpoint divides a side into two equal halves. Angle EMB is 30 degrees. So this is mentioned here. EM is 5 centimeters. EM, that means this one, this diagonal part is 5 centimeters. AM is equals to MD. This part is equals to AM. That means this part is equals to AD. That means this part. This half AM, this part is equals to AD, which is this part. Find FD. What they are asking you to calculate? FD. So first we need to locate FD. FD is this. Again, I'll be saying always go in a reverse order if they are asking you to calculate FD. So as other angles are pretty much difficult to find, obviously we'll go for Pythagoras theorem without a doubt, because it's a 90-degree angle as it's a rectangle. So I would start with triangle FAD, and also I'll start with the Pythagoras theorem to calculate FD. It will be FD squared is equals to FA squared plus AD squared. That means if I want to calculate FD, I should know FA as well as AD. Let me work on it. How can I calculate F and AD? Something is given right here, that is, let me focus on this triangle. It will help us in calculating. In this triangle EMB, EM is hypotenuse given. MB and what else? AM, they both are equal. So what is given? AM. Suppose AM is X. Let me take it X. So MB will also be X because M is the midpoint. And what else mentioned? AM is equals to AD. That means AM is X, so AD will also be X. So it will give me a better understanding here that this is X. And we just saw that AD is also X. That means this one is also X. And apart from it, it says AF. I can calculate X. That's all I need as of now. So take triangle EMB. Clearly, why I am saying, because so many sides are x. So many sides are equal to each other. So if I'll be able to find even the single side, I'll be able to find all the three sides. So AMB. Here, this angle is given. So the side opposite to it is EB and side adjacent to is MB. So since we have to calculate x, I'll start with adjacent. MB is adjacent. Let me draw it separately as well. I think drawing it separately will give a much clarity. ME. This is the angle. So obviously side opposite to this is opposite. This is adjacent and this is hypotenuse. The value of hypotenuse is given as 5 centimeters and adjacent is x. So let me start with adjacent. So cos 30 degrees is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is cos 30 is root 3 over 2 into hypotenuse is 5. So 5 root 3 over 2. This is your adjacent. That means x we have calculated. Once we have the value of x, all become 5 root 3 over 2. That means now AD is also the same. We got AD, right? Now we have to calculate FA. How can I calculate FA? Again, because FA is equals to EB, opposite side of a rectangle. Are equal. That was our initial thing to get the answer, right? I have calculated AD. Adjacent, that is x, we have calculated as f root 3 over 2. That means AD also turned out to be f root 3 over 2. I'm done with AD. My question is, what is FA? How can I calculate FA? FA is, again I need this triangle, because that's the only source where I can find. So if I can calculate EB is the opposite to FA. If I can calculate EB, that's equals to FA. So applying trigonometric ratio, I can say now EB is opposite. We have hypotenuse, even we just calculated adjacent as well, but I'm applying sine theta here. You can apply sine theta, cos theta, sine theta, tan theta, or even you can apply Pythagoras theorem as well. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Sine 30 is opposite over hypotenuse is 5. 5 into sine 30, which is half, is equals to opposite. So opposite is 2.5 centimeters. That means EB is 2.5 centimeters. If EB is 2.5, AF is also 2.5. Don't think that, okay, it's very confusing. No, it's not confusing. If at this point of time you're feeling, God, I'm just messed up now, again start this video. I assure you, you will be able to understand it. Now I have FA as well. I'm again repeating, we have calculated EB because EB is equals to FA. So if EB is 2.5, FA will also be 2.5. Now coming back to this thing. FD squared is equals to FA, which is 2.5 whole squared, plus AD, which we calculated as AD was x and x was 5 root 3 over 2. So 5 root 3 over 2 whole squared. So if I calculate this one, this will give me, so this will be 24.998, and finally FD is root of 24.998, which will give you answer as 4.999, but I'm just summing it up to 5 centimeters. So this diagonal FD comes out to be 5 centimeter. Now part B says find the volume of cuboid. For the volume of cuboid, we know it's length times width times height. We just calculated MB as 5 root 3 over 2. If this part is 5 root over 3, 2, the whole length is twice, because M is midpoint, so whole length is 2x. So I can say AB, which is length, is 5 root 3 over 2 into 2, which is 5 root 3. Then width is this one, BC, and BC was x. So x is again 5 root 3 over 2. So this will be 5 root 3 over 2. And height. Height is FA. FA we calculated as 2.5 or 5 over 2. So FA is 5 over 2. So calculating finally, it's length times width times height. It's 125 into 3 over 4. Calculating it, you'll get answer as 93.75. What's the unit? It's nothing is mentioned. It's unit cubed actually. So this is unit. I have taken it to be a centimeter, but we can take it as 5 centimeter given, right? It's centimeter, so it's centimeter cubed. Question 3 says the ratio of length to width to height of a given cuboid is 1:2:1. If the volume of the cuboid is 54 centimeter cubed, then calculate the length of the diagonal of a cuboid. Okay, so to calculate the length of the diagonal of a cuboid, at least we should know all the sides of this triangle, this cuboid, and they are given in ratio 1:2:1. I can say, because this is length, width and height actually. So if length is x, width is 2x then, and height will be x. And their volume is given as 54. And we know the volume is what? Multiplying all of them together. So length, width, height is 54, or 2x cubed is 54. X cubed is equals to 27 and x turns out to be 3. That means length is, this one I am writing as 3, width is 6 and height is 3 as well. To calculate diagonal, that means A to H, this one. To calculate this one, I need to find a triangle. This one is the most relevant triangle. And I can calculate, I can apply Pythagoras theorem. So the diagonal is AH that we have to calculate. So AH is squared is equals to HF squared plus AF squared. HF is your height, we just saw, which is 3. So AH squared is equals to 3 squared plus AF squared. Unfortunately, we don't have AF, but we can calculate. You can clearly see AF is what? This is A, this is F. AF is a diagonal of the rectangle, the base. So I can say AF squared is equals to 6 squared plus 3 squared. It's a diagonal of a rectangle. So that means 6 squared plus 3 squared is the answer. So AF squared is equals to 36 plus 9, which is AF is equals to root 45. We have calculated, even leave it like in the terms of AF squared. So coming back to this one, AH squared, what I did this one, this was a separate one, and this one is a separate one to calculate the AF. We have calculated AF, which is root 45. So again, coming back to this one, AH squared is equals to 3 squared, which is 9, plus AF squared, which is 45. So AH squared is equals to 54 and AH is equals to root 54 centimeters. AH. So finally, the diagonal of this triangle is root 54. The cuboid. Now coming back to the next one, calculate the angle between CF and the plane ABEF. Calculate the angle between CF and plane ABEF. CF. Now let me just delete this all. So here it says the angle between CF is this one. This is also diagonal, and all the diagonals of a cuboid are equal. So if we have calculated AH, which is root 54, that means CF is also root 54. Keep that in mind. So calculate angle between CF and plane ABEF. Plane ABEF, that means this is the plane. I told you if the question is angle between a line and the plane, so what we do? Yes, it's the diagonal. Diagonal of the rectangle. I have to draw diagonal of the rectangle. This is angle between them they are asking. So if I join them completely, I'll get this triangle. That means this triangle. I am drawing it here. CAF. CF is the whole length. That is, we just calculated root 54. And AF is, we calculated here, which is root 45. If I want to calculate this angle, labeling it, the angle opposite to it is opposite. This is adjacent, and definitely this is hypotenuse. So which two sides I have? I have hypotenuse as well as I have diagonal. That is hypotenuse and adjacent. So I need to apply cos theta. So applying cos theta is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Cos theta is equals to adjacent is root 45 over hypotenuse is root 54. So theta is cos inverse root 45 over root 54. Answer is, final answer will be 24.1 degrees. Now M is the midpoint of AE. M is the midpoint of AE. Now just deleting that all. M is the midpoint of AE. AE is this one. M is the midpoint. Then it says, this cuboid, if we cut this cuboid along with GM, find the volume of prism GFH. Along GH, this is GH. And if we cut this along with it, what will be the volume of this prism? That means it will look like this one. I'm drawing up here. This is the triangle GEM. And you have cut it down. So the remaining prism is like this. This is final prism. So what is the volume of a prism? Prism is area of face multiplied the length. So area of this face multiplied by the length up to which it has stretched. So area is half times base times height, which is MH, into height is GHG. I'm applying here. This is our prism, right? So area of face is half times base times height into length. Length is HF. So looking into this, MH we have calculated as AE, that is length is 3 centimeters. This whole length is 3 centimeter. If M is midpoint, so this will be 1.5. Height is GE. Height we have calculated as 3. So this is 3. EF was width, which was 6 centimeters. So I'll put 3 into 6 into 1.5. This will give you the final volume of this given prism, which is 9 centimeter cubed. Moving on to the next question. Figure 1 is a square based pyramid. The area of the base of this figure is 16 centimeter squared. Now it says find the volume of the pyramid if the angle between EA and the base is 30 degrees. Now I'll start with the volume of pyramid. The formula to calculate volume of pyramid is length times width times height over 3, or simple we can say area of the base into height over 3. That's the volume of this pyramid. That means we first have to calculate the area of base, which is already given. That is 16 meters squared. N. So this is much simpler, but at least we should know the height. If we don't know the height, then it's simple. We have to do this one. So height is this one. And angle between EA. EA is, this is EA. This side is EA. And the base. Whenever we talk about the angle between base, that means base is a diagonal. We have to pick the diagonal. So diagonal is this one. So angle between these two they are saying is 30 degrees. I can easily find the height because I'm doing again going in a reverse order. So I would say I have to take triangle EOA. Now it's very easy for me to calculate it, but for that I should know the side, at least one side. Seems EA is tough to find, so we are only relying on OA to get the answer. OA I can easily calculate because OA is a diagonal, actually half of the diagonal of a square base pyramid. If I see this base looks like this. D, A, B, C. And O is the center. So it's like this. This OA we have to calculate. If the area of this DABC is 16 meters squared, that means each side will be 4 because it's a square. And area is length times width, or A squared, which is 16. So I can calculate the diagonal easily. So I am applying in triangle ACB. AC squared is equals to 4 squared plus 4 squared. So AC squared is equals to 32, or AC is root 32. If AC is root 32, OA is half of AC. So OA will be root 32 by 2. That means now this OA we have calculated as root 32 by 2. I can apply easily. If this is my angle, obviously side opposite to it is opposite and side adjacent to it is adjacent. That's all I need to calculate height, because EO is a height, opposite is a height. So applying tan formula, tan 30 degrees is equals to opposite, which is EO, over adjacent, which is OA. So EO is finally tan 30 degrees into OA. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Into OA is, we calculated root 32 by 2. So I can say root 32 by 2 root 3 is my EO. That's all we have to say. Now, coming back to this one, we have now the height, we have the area of base, we can calculate the volume. So volume is area of base, which is 16, into height is root 32 by 2 root 3 into 2. So this will be 4 root 32 by root 3. Either I can write it in a surd form, or let me write down answer in a decimal form. This is finally equals to 13.06, or up to 2 decimal place I can write 13.1 centimeter cubed is the volume of this whole pyramid. Moving on to the next one. Here it's specifically mentioned that it's a non-calculator question. Though you have a different paper, that means paper 1 is a non-calculator paper and paper 2, paper 3 are calculator paper. But in this, because it's a miscellaneous one, so specifically it's mentioned that it's a non-calculator paper, so we need not to use it at all. No calculator. The figure shows a triangular prism. If volume of this prism is 360 root 3, find the length of BE. I have to find BE going in reverse order. They have given the volume as 360 root 3, and we know the volume of prism is area of face into length. That means definitely it is involving the length, which will help us in calculating it. So I'm starting with, again I'll be saying in a reverse order. So volume of prism is area of face into length. So area of face is this triangle. That means I need to draw a perpendicular. So half times, let I say this is CO. Half times CO times length, that is AB. This is the area of face. Area of face. Face is what? A triangle. A triangular, if you plot a height, and we are assuming because they have given one angle only and it seems to be symmetrical, so we are just assuming that it's 60 as well. So it makes it an equilateral triangle. If they have mentioned the angles separately, they might have mentioned other parts as well, but there is no other detail. That's the reason that if it's 60 degrees, so we are assuming that other angle is also 60 degrees. So half times CO height into AB base into length of the face BE is equals to 360 root 3. From here, I get to know that what is missing. AB we know they have given 12. BE and CO is missing. B is actually we have to calculate. So only one thing that is remaining is we need to find CO. This is the reason we always go in reverse order, which helps us in finding the answer. So CO. How can I calculate CO? If this is a right triangle, I'm drawing it here. This is COP. This is 6 centimeters. This is 60 degrees. So I can calculate CO. CO as this is opposite, this is adjacent. So tan 60 degrees is equals to, I am applying in triangle COP. Tan 60 is opposite over adjacent. Tan 60 is root 3. CO is opposite and OB is 6. So opposite is 6 root 3. That means we have calculated height. That's all we needed. So putting the values here, half times CO is, if you don't know the values, this one I have shared this one when we did sine rule and cosine rule in yesterday's video. You have seen at the very end I have described the few values that you have to learn for non-calculator paper. So 1060 is one of them. So half times CO we have calculated as 6 root 3 times AB is 12 times BE we have to calculate is 360 root 3. From here I can cancel out root 3 and root 3. 2 times this is 3. So 36 BE is equals to 360. BE is 360 over 36. Finally we got answer as 10 centimeters. That means BE is 10 centimeters. So these were the questions of the 3D trigonometry. Obviously there are so many types of questions in 3D trigonometry, and because it's a crash course, so I'm not making too many questions or not incorporating many questions in one worksheet because it will create more confusion. Instead I have designed it in such a way that if you go through these concepts you will be able to crack any questions. I'm trying to give you some tricks and techniques so that you can crack any sort of question. So that's it for today. Hope this crash course will help you, and if you want to enroll yourself, because I'm running the paid crash course as well, so if you want to enroll yourself for that, you can just email us at exacademy@gmail.com, because I have tutor for all subjects. So even if you need just one class at all, okay, you have many doubts and you think I just need one class, so that's fine, you can just email. We can schedule one class, that is the that is the doubt session. So that's it for today. Thank you. Have a great day.